Olympic Games, standards are reset. Numbers and figures more impressive than those that came before. Performances that will soon be forgotten. His Olympic victories have been both decisive and stylish. Now he races for a feat unprecedented, becoming the first ever to twice sweep the sprints. No one has ever turned 2 laps of the track more exquisitely. Tonight, he runs to sleekly advance his legacy. This group aims for a goal none before them have grasped, guided by a coach familiar with the extraordinary. And in events that demand speed and style, precision and daring, they look to reach new heights. Gold medals are won with low times, high marks, big plays by those who perform best on the biggest stage at the Games of the 30th Olympiad. The second week of these games, the Olympic Stadium has been the focus in London. Tonight again, another program filled with some of the biggest names in track and field. And one of the most anticipated items on the schedule in the day session was the first round of the 4x400 meter relay, with Oscar Pistorius, the double amputee sprinter who debuted earlier this week in London, on the South African team for this event and set to run third in the race. Well, instead, here's what happened. With about 100 meters before Pistorius was to receive the baton, his teammate, Ofense Mugawani, was cut off by Kenya's Vincent Mumukilu. That was, of course, the end of the race for both teams, and it appeared it would be a disappointing and anticlimactic end to the Olympics for Pistorius. Well, the Kenyans were disqualified for causing the fall, and so, after an appeal, a jury of officials advanced South Africa to the final. So Pistorius and company are still alive for that final, which will be seen tomorrow night in primetime. It will also include the Americans, but their path through the prelim was bumpy in its own way. The U.S. finished second to the Bahamas in their heat, but not without it nearly coming apart. Manio Mitchell, leading off, says he broke his left leg in the middle of his run. According to USA Track and Field, Mitchell had in fact injured his leg a few days ago, slipping on a stairway in the Olympic Village. And x-rays after the race today did show a break. Whatever happened, Mitchell was able somehow to finish his lap and thus help get the U.S. through. Still, the Americans, who pretty much owned this event at the Olympics for years, are now further depleted, without 2008 Olympic champion LaShawn Merritt and 2004 gold medalist Jeremy Warner, also injured, and now Mitchell joins that list. So that relay will be tomorrow night. Meanwhile, tonight on the track, the spotlight was on Usain Bolt, running in the 200 meters 4 nights after he quelled any doubts at all about his dominance over a blistering 9.63 seconds in the 100 meters, the fastest time ever in an Olympic 100. Just for laughs, here's how Bolt's performance would have matched up against some other notable 100-meter winners. You can see the margin of victory he would have had over Justin Gatlin in 04, Carl Lewis in 1988, Bob Hayes in 64, Jesse Owens in 36, and even the original winner, Thomas Burke, in 1896. A real sense of the progression of speed in the sport's signature event and just how much Bolt himself has pushed it forward over the past 4 years. Tonight, the field was packed again at double the distance as Bolt sprinted for more Olympic history, trying to become the first ever to repeat the sweep in the 100 and the 200. Also on the track tonight, one of the sport's other huge stars, world record holder David Rudisha of Kenya in the 800 meters, and the conclusion of the decathlon after one day of competition. Americans Ashton Eaton and Trey Hardy were 1-2. In addition, tonight we'll show you women's volleyball. The Americans played South Korea earlier today for a spot in the gold medal match, and we'll also have women's diving and men's BMX. That's all ahead, and when we come back, I'll look at the soccer showdown of the day, a rematch of last year's World Cup final between the U.S. and Japan in the gold medal game. Back to London after this.
The games of the 30th Olympiad on NBC are brought to you by Visa, supporting athletes and the Olympic Games for 25 years. By AT&T, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team, We Think Possible. By Warner Brothers Pictures' new comedy, The Campaign, in theaters tomorrow. And by Nike,